What do you think of the 4-person lineup?
Well, I didn't watch it.
Evening, people. Round 2 from the sauna.
Hello.
I said good day.
Hopefully people can hear us.
Hey y'all.
Early Boz.
Sorry guys.
Yeah.
We're testing things still.
We went a touch early.
We didn't want, you know how I always have issues playing Bozza's track? We're trying to resolve that issue. That we went too early.
We like to resolve issues at 7:05.
Yeah.
Yeah, by early we mean 5 minutes late.
Yeah, music. Can you hear it, Nathan?
It was. That's the aim, to have some music on that scene so it's not just so dead.
Yeah.
There we go. I love those.
Inception. If you watch the screen,
Alright, can people hear us?
Hello, hello.
Someone just confirm that and then kick you off.
What's happening?
Lauren's ready to kick off.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yo. Oh, we got the bloody quiz tonight as well. Battling the quiz.
Torrentine's quiz. Dino, you can.
Oh, we'll get to all of that, Josh. Don't you worry.
Did you want the door closed or for noise? Alright,
Thanks,
can
man.
people hear us? Or was that music? Music's so loud.
Can you only hear the music?
Can you hear us now? Sorry about that music. I didn't realise it was still playing. Thanks, Joav. It will come back next
Woohoo,
week.
loud and clear.
When we want it, not when we try to talk to you.
Okay.
Loud and clear. Excellent. All right, let's kick this shit off.
Round one win, baby!
Hey, we talked about putting sad but true after that. What happened?
I forgot
yeah.
about it. Oh, how good was that? Finally, a win in round one. Welcome to Here We Crow, episode 111. That could only be lucky. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining us in the YouTube chat. Sorry for the early Boz, but we'll get to him later. Welcome to my co-host, Ben. Good evening.
Thanks, Lauren.
Sensible Crow is in the house. Welcome, Nuzz.
I'm finally here.
You
I've
are
made
here.
it. Yeah.
You have made it. No late scratching tonight. Dan.
No.
You know what
Hi.
they say about the early Boz?
Early
don't.
Boz gets the worm.
Yeah, I guess.
Hi, Dan.
Hello.
And hello, Sam.
Hello, Lauren.
We're also joined by our Nuffy Deano, who will be joining us later on the show. Oh, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're obviously going to review the great round one win against St Kilda. How good does it feel?
Feels good.
And we'll have a bit to say about the pre-game as well. We'll be getting sensible with Sensible Crow, of course. A bit of a nuffy chat and round 2 preview with Dino. Plus Dog Act, you also Kane. Both back tonight. Woohoo! Let's get on with it. Ben! Give us some stats.
That's a lot of air horn.
All right, so episode 111.
111.
111, 6th of the beast. So our player, special episode, special player, Justin Sigalella.
Sikalella.
There you go. So
How many games?
5, 2000 to 2000. He did.
Good year for the Bombers, that.
Well, he did play 266 games with Woodville West
No,
Torrens.
it doesn't count.
So,
Sorry.
well, no, it doesn't count as AFL games at all. I agree.
And I work with his cousin, so there you go.
Oh.
Was
Was he
he
also a
also-
Sikalella?
Yeah.
He
gonna
was.
say.
He was, yes.
Was he a sick Alela? Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Keep
If
going.
that's the standard you're setting.
And thank you for listening. See you later, guys. Take care.
I don't know if you're aware, but he's a bit of a McHenry on steroids.
Oh, yeah?
What's that mean?
He is a fisherman by trade.
Oh, right.
So there you go.
A real one.
Yep.
Not a Channel 7 one.
Ouch. That's harsh.
All right. Jeepers, no.
Sorry, Ned.
Yep. Out of Port Wakefield, I think is where he's based. He's a 3rd generation fisherman. So
Wow.
how about that? And that's all I got about Sigalella.
Okay.
So
So,
isn't it-
a fisherman doesn't have a LinkedIn page, is what you're saying?
There is a website about him talking about. I think he was skipping school when he was a kid to go fishing and whatnot. So he
Wow. So that really was his first passion.
he really wanted to be a fisher person.
Is Ned McHenry still doing his fishing show?
I think
it's run its course, I believe.
I don't know about a full show. I think
He's got his YouTube
little
stuff.
segmenty stuff.
Yeah, he's
so,
still doing the
yeah.
catch of the day, I believe, on Channel 7 News.
Go check it out if you're that way inclined.
Now, speaking of exciting things, 2011. What do we remember that year?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, all right. Well, let's put that to the test.
Something
yeah.
about Tippett.
Well, minor round finish. Where do we think we finished?
14th.
15th.
Dan's right out of the blocks.
Oh,
14th.
Wow.
fluke.
So there
You're not
you
even
go.
looking at his screen.
No.
No. So 7 wins, 15 losses. How about that? That's, yeah.
Gross.
Club champ.
Rashudo?
2011, man.
He was still around, wasn't he?
Rashido's son.
Rocco Rashudo.
Goodwin.
Not Goodwin.
Was he still around?
I don't know.
Welsh.
No. If
No,
I-
no, no, no.
If I flex,
Scott Thompson.
that's the one.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to flex.
Did Josh get it? Did Josh?
I did what I could. So.
Yeah, Josh got it.
Goal kicker.
Oh,
Oh, I kind of don't want to answer again now.
Scott Thompson.
Graham Johncock.
I did not flex that time.
You want to kick one goal.
what demo are you giving for this one?
2011. Ian Perry.
Tippett.
Tex.
It is Tex.
Hey.
Oh,
So-
wow. There you go.
But Tex
No.
beat Tippett by 1 goal.
Wow.
So,
Oh, it's
Josh
Josh,
got
said.
so yeah, so I think we all know that Sam is just the voice piece for
Josh.
Josh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I steal Josh's answers.
All right. So, as you noticed last week, keeping it ship shape, nice and tight with the quiz.
You like that?
I think
It was the first time.
I think I've gotten a feel for everyone's knowledge levels, and maybe asking so many questions isn't the go. So,
Except for Josh.
so I've gone back to the interesting to me facts, which there wasn't a great deal for such a stinker of a year. But
Yeah.
so this was the year we lost Neil Craig from coaching, not from anything else.
Condolences.
Rest in peace.
Lost is a
That after
strong
they
word.
lost to St Kilda.
I'm not sure. It was from round 19 onwards that we had Mark Bickley as our coach.
Yeah, I reckon we got pumped by
like
Saints, didn't we?
4 goals. We kicked the whole game. I think it was
Yeah.
our worst loss ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and we Craig finished with 92 wins, 74 losses. So as a coach, that's pretty good. So he had some pretty successful years. We just never actually finished the deal.
No.
So yeah, and a few players like Brodie Smith played his first game in 2011. So we're starting to get into some current crop players.
I think
Yeah.
you and Josh get your facts from the same page because Josh just said that in the chat too.
Oh, there is a specific page. If you go to this page, it'll be like I'm doing a repeat for you.
Are you saying that's what Josh does every week?
I reckon we might
Well,
need to get Josh to dial in and give you the quiz.
Yeah, Josh, do you want a segment on the show?
Josh won fair and square in person, though, didn't he, with the quiz? Or was that a different thing for him?
No, it's a different name, Ben.
All right. I don't know then.
Josh said yes, so I think he's keen.
Yeah.
Yes to what?
I'll get Josh. We can get Josh involved.
Setting up his own quiz.
Which part?
Maybe
I'm
Josh
happy
could
for some
quiz
more.
Ben.
Yeah, I think that's
I think
what
if we
should
get
do.
Josh on, I'm happy to increase the breadth of questions. Again.
Relinquish
Okay.
the hosting of this part of the segment to Josh.
You want it, Dan? It's yours.
No, not me, Josh. Anyway, let's move on.
Is that it?
Snappy.
All right, fantastic.
We do appreciate your quiz. man.
All right, let's get on with it. Don't forget you can support the pod by buying us a coffee. And thanks to Pete for sending us some coffees last week too,
Pete.
by the way. Appreciate your support,
send us
buddy.
more.
Oh, well, I can't remember if I thanked him last week.
You
So
did.
thank him
okay.
You did.
tonight.
Yeah.
But thanks again, Pete.
Let's get into it. Let's review the game. Crows
Yeah.
versus Saints. Crows 21 goals, 9 points, 135. Defeated the Saints. 10 goals, 12 points, 72. Well, that was fun.
Yes.
That was like a fun game of footy. And what a buzz around the ground. I think everyone was just like amped because they just felt that we were going to win that one. I mean, we were top favourites and we smashed them. Obviously, the Saints have some major issues. But generally, I thought the game was quite good. I mean, as crap as St Kilda were, they did manage to still score 10 goals. That's a pretty general score in AFL at the moment. Average score, I'd say. So, Crows, fast-paced, aggressive, moving the ball forward, kicking a bit more laterally, all of those things. What do you think? Thoughts? Give them to me.
Not to take any shine off of it, but we did what we had to do that day. We had to win that game. We had to win it by 10 goals. I think realistically, to be taken seriously, I don't sort of subscribe to some of the media hype that they're trying to put around us being premier contenders and all that kind of stuff. Bickley got dragged into some conversation where he's like, people saying that they're going to be premiers. Like, it's not the fans saying that; it's the media.
Oh, it seems.
Well, it's one person who we'll mention later.
Seems uncommon from the media. I think Collingwood were premiership favourites
Yeah.
after beating Richmond in a pre-season game, weren't they?
But yeah, exactly. But I find that from what I read around our fans are just generally excited, which is great. We should be excited. We've finally got a really consistent list. There's not a lot of barely anyone in that team that you'd want to drop to the seconds anymore. Like, they're all first-class players. We filled some gaps. The buzz was driven up by what we'll talk about, Lauren, the pre-game entertainment.
Yeah, I reckon
which
we
they
might-
finally got right.
We might save that for Sam's Goods, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, the buzz was there. It was really exciting and they delivered, which is exactly what we want. The fans, what I was trying to say is we're taking it seriously. Like, we want to show that we can beat teams like the Bombers this week, which we'll talk about, who are around a similar mark to us at the G. Then we can start talking about excitement. But until then, the lid's on.
I think now, at the moment, we can just enjoy the fact that we had a round one win because we haven't had one of those for a while.
Yeah.
And, we did it pretty well. I think, we smashed their midfield. We smashed the Saints midfield, even with Jack McRae getting so many clearances. And, we had all those players on the outside moving the ball a lot quicker out to the forward line, which, I think the footy we were playing was really exciting to watch. It was, still round one, you're kind of shaking off the cobwebs and there was probably like a bit of skill there that can, get better. We weren't hitting targets as well as we could have, but I think that just comes with the type of footy that we're playing, which is that fast, aggressive movement.
It was pretty windy as well.
It was windy,
so
yeah.
that didn't help.
One of the most exciting things I think everyone can agree is it's always good when you can barely find a player that hasn't played well. Like, in the whole team contributed. We had multiple goal kickers, kicking multiple goals. The forward line was just as exciting as you could possibly want it to be.
Yeah.
Yes, again, they weren't playing the best opposition, but, you
Well,
can only play who you're facing, right?
Still, our pressure in the forward line was top tier for a defence that kind of buckled under our pressure, and St Kilda do have good defence generally. I thought our defence was a little bit shaky at times. Like there were times we kind of left the Saints players to their own accord, but that didn't hurt us in the end. So that's just something that hopefully we'll be able to train and tidy up a bit.
Yeah, it was like they were caught off guard a little bit sometimes by the ball actually coming down.
Is that just a structure thing? Do you think that they're just like?
Oh, they were pushing up so high.
Yeah.
They were gonna beat us at some point.
Yeah.
Out the back, and also, I felt like the defence was clearly the weakest part of the side. I thought on the weekend, but it was definitely sort of game plan oriented. They had some license to try and chew off a few kicks there, and they didn't always work. And Worrell and Hinge obviously like taking a risky kick anyway, and it almost felt like they doubled down on that. But it was.
I'd rather us that way than we did last year, where we were just so scared going.
No
forwards
doubt.
and just not being able to kick a score at all. So.
Did you have any thoughts on the game, Nuzz?
Well, it's just interesting. Like everyone's saying, Saints are missing a few players, which they are. I mean, they're missing 5 or 6 of their best, which is always going to make any team a lot worse. But you just look at their list demographic, and they actually had an older average age than us, which is really strange, and more games played on average too, which you would think, oh, how's that? But they've got McRae, Steele, and Sinclair in the middle. And that's half the problem that we had with Laird and Crouch in the middle, just too slow. And so, you know, it's proven with other teams. I've got it all written down there about list profiles and stuff like Hawthorn, you know, having a year and a half of just having these quick kids in there proves that it's the right way forward. And, you know, having faith in people like Saligo and Rankin, you know, can outrun these older players. It's what you need nowadays. That's the way forward.
Yeah.
And so Saints list is in a real horrible place at the moment, aren't they? There's 5 or 6 names that they just need to cull and just be done with at the end of the season. People like Webster, you know, all amongst others.
What do you feel about Zach Jones still running around out there for him? How embarrassing must him still playing be for a Saints fan?
Yeah.
Like if he's still in your best 22, you're doing something wrong.
I don't know what. No, they don't even know what they want to do. It's embarrassing. After they sacked Ratton, they just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Saw the gold in Ross Lyon, and
Which is strange in itself, really.
Yeah, I don't know. No, oh.
Like he's not, you know, he was disgraced in a previous role, and obviously he jumped ship to go to Freo and just left St Kilda in the dust.
It's very strange. No, that whole club needs some work, it's fair to say. And luckily we're not them, so fuck them.
Yeah.
That's true. Well said.
The other thing we obviously took advantage of was Harry Boyd in the ruck. He's obviously very fresh, and Rob just absolutely gave him a bath, which definitely helped our midfielders out.
Which is interesting because I heard people saying beforehand they're looking forward to seeing Harry Boyd give Rob a bath, and to Rob's credit, he didn't get given a bath. So
That's true.
Boyd looked very slow out there.
Oh, very slow. There was some pretty damning footage put through the footy shows about him on the weekend. Yeah. And to be fair, he's come from playing at Norwood last year to being thrust in as the Saints. Almost
kind of like watching Kieran Strawn and how much he struggled when he came in last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speed isn't like, you can only work on your speed so much. If you're already at that level of athleticism like SANFL, your speed isn't going to change much. It's your endurance and being able to use that speed. But in short 5-metre bursts, it doesn't matter how tired you are. Like, that was inexcusable. And there's a reason why it seems that he's probably not been on a list for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Ben, you got anything there?
Probably the 2 things that I noticed from the game that felt different to last year is, one was the distinct lack of us kicking to the forward line and having an intercept mark taken on us.
Yep.
So that didn't really, I don't really recall that happening much at all. If anything, like, we didn't mark everything, but most things were contested, and we were quite good at mopping up what came to ground. So that was a really nice change. And I think the other thing that felt like what used to happen to us is we spread really quick from congestion. So we were able to get a really good quick handball out, and then that person just ran with it instead of a couple backwards, and then we'd think about going forwards. So I think that helped us put their backline on a really defensive footing where they couldn't structure up where they could get into a good position. So I think they were the 2 real positives. I'm sure there was things, you know, a better team will make harder for us, but I think it's a really good way for us to start.
Yeah, we had free reign. We didn't ever look like we were going to lose that game right from the bounce, really. It was, to be fair, in that last quarter, it got quite boring. It was quite a boring game.
I was having fun.
And Ben will think this is a stupid thing to say because he loves it when he doesn't have to
I'll just preempt it.
Stress.
Sam's about to say something stupid. So.
but it was quite dull there in that last quarter. I felt I was pretty ready for the game to finish. I even said it to Dan.
Yeah, you said it at 3/4 time.
Only bad things can happen from here, really.
Yeah.
Well, the third quarter would seem to go for so long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was 35 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just Lily trying whinging about the game being over, but no, it was you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have gone quickly for her. How many times did you go to the toilet?
A bladder like Dan. Yeah,
Yeah, well, you
no
got
mean
up and then
feat.
Dan followed every time.
every time. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I'm like, now, Lily, can you just tell me you need to go to the toilet a lot so Dan doesn't feel so bad about it?
Thanks.
Couple of individuals.
Appreciate
I know we're going to do votes, but I
No,
think
we
we
should
should
get
always
into it
talk.
now,
We
yeah.
should talk to some. Should talk about some individuals first as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Dawson was amazing. I think he's
Elite.
going to feature pretty heavily in all our votes.
Yeah.
Rochelle, maybe not one that's going to get votes, but he was that his best game?
I think, for the club so far,
Yeah.
I'd say.
What a great response to the end of last year as well.
Yeah.
To come out and play that well in round one.
It was a very, very well-rounded game.
It was.
Contributed
Well, it
in
just
a lot of
shows that
ways.
he's not treating this as a joke. He's being a professional, and good. Let's see more of it.
And he's been perfecting his spin. How many times did he try and spin out of a tackle on the weekend, which was great? And he's
Taking notes from Solly, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, obviously, yeah. Solly was amazing. A couple of other ones like Dan Curtin, obviously a quiet game, but I've had people that were watching it on TV sort of say that they didn't really notice him at all, but I felt like I noticed him a bit at the ground, and he
Yeah.
did some really nice things.
Yeah.
He
I
did
don't
really
know.
good things when he had the ball, and I think also his agility as such a huge guy. Like we said
Yeah.
about Filthy as well, but Dan Curtin's agility for the size he is incredible.
I just don't think they know where to put him.
No, I was going to say I can't wait till
Well,
they work out.
Matthew
I've got
Nicks-
some thoughts about
Yeah,
that.
please share.
Okay,
Well, the problem is that he's just had no continuity. Like he's played a lot of his junior football the halfback flank, and the problem is when we put him at SANFL because he's so damn big. They're like, oh, you're a key defender. He's not a key defender. He's not even close to being a key defender. He doesn't play like that. He's just a typical back flanker type winger who's 185 centimetres trapped in a huge man's body. And this is the issue. So, if you look at someone like Alistair Clarkson and many other coaches before, they put people like Gibbs and Sheasel, Luke Hodge into these halfback flank positions to give them confidence, to get them the pill. They know that they can do it, and then eventually they can move into the midfield or the wing or the forward. Because I've played every position. This is purely amateurs, but I've played every position: forward, back, ruck, rover, whatever. Forward line is the toughest position to play by leaps and bounds. It is by far the toughest. Defence is one of the easiest because you just watch the ball coming at you, and that's why we put Chase Jones back there to give him some confidence to move and look at the ball going forward. So I think the way forward would be before we just chuck him back into the midfield and then waste that kind of development where he's not going to get that in the A's, half-back flank, and then just work through it. If it's SANFL, then AFL back. I don't know, but I think that position is something we just need to get his ball in the hand 20 times, and then it's going to click for him eventually.
Matthew Nicks did actually address Curtin's position today in his press conference and said that it's not real. He isn't out there. He's playing the role, a positional role, more so than a disposal game, and that they were very pleased with what he did out there. So he's obviously
Did he
doing
make comment about what that role actually is?
well. No, apart from the fact that it was obviously positional and he's
Yeah.
he's obviously supposed to be an outside ball getter.
Yeah, more
from the stoppage.
wing and going forwards. They said they weren't going to be putting him in the middle anytime soon,
Right.
making him a midfielder.
Okay.
But for Nicks to say that they're happy with what he's doing because he's obviously playing this role that we are unaware of, that they are happy with. So I mean, that's all good feedback. So I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens.
Yeah, if he turns into up the ground a bit and then rests forward, I think it's less about that being useful this year. It's probably more for when we do lose someone like a Tex and something where we don't feel so out of balance with how tall our forward line is that it'll pay dividends moving forwards.
Yeah.
A couple of other players I just wanted to mention.
Yes.
Taylor Walker.
Yep.
What do we think?
I liked that they used him at the start and then subbed him out. I thought that's ideal. I think if he's going to be in that mix, that forward mix. Obviously, there's been comments about him not being best 22 and you know,
one person again.
yeah, which we'll get into.
His
in-
best mate,
That.
Kane.
We've got a segment.
We'll get into that. But also, you know, it being it being filthy and Fogg's forward line, which it will be in the future. But I don't think that doesn't mean Tex has got a part to play, and he
Yep.
still did some nice things.
How was
He
that
kicked-
handball when he was about to hit the deck? That was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
He did some really nice things, some good kicks. You know, his trademark, and he kicked goal, and then he got subbed out, which I think is perfect. Like they brought on some fresh legs that we were obviously able to see Draper in action.
If he's willingly playing that unselfish role, that's a massive boost to this team.
Yeah,
like
agree.
because we're obviously very critical with some players that have gone and are probably on their way out. The Crows probably not seeming like they want to play an unselfish role. So if they've gone to him and he's gone, right, well, you know, like if you're going to sub me out at half time when the game's over, it's like so be it. That's fantastic.
I feel like that was obviously a plan that they had in place. And I mean, we subbed him off when we were 10 goals up. So,
No,
you
yeah.
know, we're in a position where we needed him on the field. But he is useful because when he's in the forward line, he's rucking 1, 2, he's allowing Darcy Fogarty to run up the ground and, you know, have more movement. Darcy and him can kind of take turns doing that, which is good. And, you know, he's still an amazing field kick.
Yeah, and teams will take him absolutely seriously. Like they're not going to leave a shit defender on him. So because if they do, he'll still kick it back.
During
yeah,
the game, they
absolutely.
actually took their best defender off of Tex and put him onto Fogg. So, again, that's just like you got 2 massive blokes who are calling for the best defender. Like, that's the perfect position you want to be in, isn't
Or
it?
3, really.
Yeah,
As long as we've got the right mix of people at ground level, then I think it'll work fine.
which I
Yeah.
think we do going by what happened on the weekend.
Let's be honest, no one can match up on Phil.
Well,
He's
yeah,
an absolute
that's it.
nightmare. Yeah.
He just needs to, if he can just clunk like another, you know, just a few of those extra marks that he went for that he clearly got to first, he's just going to be absolutely formidable.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic game. Don't get me wrong. Just a slight negative as there was some drops there, but yeah.
The other
he was
person we
amazing.
got to mention too, and is Josh Worrell.
Yes.
He has been pointed out in the media as being maybe the forgotten defender who is just absolutely dominating back there. Yes, Woos, yes.
Yeah.
I don't have
Oh.
any stats or anything, sorry, so I can't get into
I
that.
think he got 25 touches in the end.
He did.
And a whole bunch of other, like he just did everything. There was that play that Vardy Magic, I think, put on X or Twitter, whatever the fuck it's called. And he did 3 good things in about 12
He
seconds.
went the spoil, the tackle, then the
Yep.
smother.
And that led to a goal
All
in the
within
end.
the one
For not,
play.
Yeah.
all when the game was over too, mind you.
Exactly, yeah. We're obviously what I liked about it is that we're obviously taking it very seriously, and they've obviously trained really hard.
Yep.
Everything about it was just like, thank God.
Well, 3 months just looking at round 1. I'm a bit worried about our short prep for round 2.
Yeah.
Nixie actually addressed that in the press conference too, Ben, and he said that
Well-
they only gave St Kilda 4 days prep
They
time.
did say
Oh,
that, but
yeah.
months out they were saying all we're looking at is round 1.
I know that, and we did test Nank with that, and he didn't know who they were playing round 2, but they know now. They know.
He
today.
doesn't know because he's not on the side.
Oh,
Hey, come
Poor
on now.
Luke.
poor Nank. He needs to be in the side.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he does.
Where
And
does he fit? That's
what-
the problem.
One player I think he could replace. It would obviously require a reshuffle. Is the last player I wanted to discuss, which is Ben Keys.
This is controversial.
Oh.
Well, I and probably I think you guys have kind of agreed with me over the years when I've said that when we're ready to win a premiership, Ben Keys isn't in the team.
Yeah, you've been consistent with saying that he's not. You know, he's one of the first out when we actually
We would
have
be
a good side.
absolutely lost without him over the last few years
Yeah.
if he wasn't a part of the side. So I'm not ragging on him necessarily. I just don't see him being part of us when we're good.
I don't see how Nank takes over his role though.
Oh, no, I'm not
Who's
nec-
taking his role
not-
if he's
Yeah.
out of the side?
I
Like they're,
think this-
they're totally different players. Like
I think we've got plenty of players to take over his role.
like what Pedler or
Well, I wouldn't probably bring Pedler in.
I've said
think
that before about
Ben's
Ben
running
Keys.
is the-
On my
is the
pods years
crucial
ago, I've
thing.
been saying the exact same thing about Ben Keys, but he just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And his stats, I know the first half of last year was really average, but I mean he came back so strong.
That he got second in the best and fairest.
Yeah, or equal. Yeah, best and
Oh,
fairest.
sorry,
So,
equal best
Yeah.
and fairest.
Yeah, like he would have won it by a country mile if he didn't have a shit part of the first season.
Yeah.
his
Like-
work rate is just like phenomenal too. I think he's way more valuable than you're giving him credit for.
Oh, look, I don't think I'm not this is not a Lockie
know you're not
Murphy
trying to diss him.
style
Yeah.
not liking him at all. It's not like that at all. It's more just a look to the future, I think, and having maybe a more skillful player.
Yeah, and I
playing
think
that
that's
type
the
of role.
thing. That's the thing that always lets him down is the skills, because there were still like times where he missed a gettable goal and things like that, which other players would nail.
Yeah.
And that's always a slight on him. Like it's like when he gets the ball in the 50, you're like, oh, this could go anywhere, and it's still that way.
You know how everyone says that Scott Pendlebury has 2 minutes to get rid of the ball? I feel like Keys is the complete opposite. He always looks rushed.
Yeah.
Is that just his
Style.
vibe though? That's his aura.
Might be his haircut.
It does.
It's his energy.
Aura.
God, I'm sick of that word already. Oh my God.
No, his energy is obviously relentless, and you know that's why he's been so good for us for so long. But yeah, the skills are probably the one thing.
Kate said Keys the new lightning rod of hate for Sam this season.
Nah,
I'm just trying to find someone.
nah,
Don't
to
worry,
be,
he
to
still
be
hates
fair on
Rob
Sam,
Kate.
he's been pretty consistent with it.
Yeah.
And it's not a hate.
It's not a hate. No,
No.
it's definitely nothing like Riley O'Brien, Lockie Murphy style dislike. This is being critical.
Do we dare talk about Rob for a second?
He's going to get a run later.
Oh, is he?
Well,
Okay.
the off-field stuff, but we can talk about him game-wise.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously against not much opposition, he did pretty well. And his efforts were great. I think still for me, it's the concrete hands that
How
drive me
many
nuts.
marks did he just put his hands up and it just smacks into them?
He's
falls on the
often
ground?
uncontested, or he kicked way too much in that game.
Yeah. Well, they kept handballing it to him too much as well. And to be fair, he didn't stuff it up, but that was probably a complete lack of pressure from Saints.
He did a couple of really nice things to give him credit. But yeah,
He didn't do much wrong.
He didn't do much
really.
wrong, except the dropping of the marks, which
Yeah.
has always been a problem.
Which is Rob.
His tap work has improved at least. His right wing is not bad at tapping the ball down.
Yeah. Oh, however, there was one I paint. There was a couple of
Nice.
times.
Swish.
There's a couple of times I pointed out to Sam that a couple of his taps led directly to goals with the Saints. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You can't win them all, Dan.
I think Dan might have missed the joke.
I did.
You did.
Oh, now I get it. Penny dropped.
Before we get into votes, I just want to bring up one other player, Matt Crouch. I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah,
And he looks shit hot at the moment.
He's shown why he's the choice over Laird in the middle.
Yeah. He went beast mode on Sunday. It was so good to see, and kicked a snap in the end as well.
Yeah,
Which was
that
awesome.
good. That was early on, right? Yeah, that was a good one.
And before we do vote, so you should also probably mention the new recruits, Peatling coming, and
We haven't even mentioned them.
I know,
They were great.
like we'll go through the whole team, and obviously Alex Neil-Bullen, who we refuse to call Nibbler.
No, it's not Nibbler.
He's Alex Neil-Bullen.
I think they all
How
did
good
their job.
was that? Like 3 on the trot from each of them. Like, oh, that was just brilliant. And yeah, how good for them. Like you could just see how much Isaac and particularly Peatling just absolutely loved that, and the reaction from the crowd and how much that meant to them.
Well, they've never played in front of a crowd before.
I was just going to
Exactly.
say, that's what I said to the guy sitting next to me, like Matt sitting next to me. I'm like, imagine that feeling for Peatling kicking that goal when he did and the crowd went mental instead of sitting at that NG stadium with 6,000 people
Well,
there.
it just reminded me of
in the
how
heat.
we were told that, they cloaked Peatling in the dark of night and took him to Adelaide Oval and got him, stood him out there and said, this is where you could play, and imagine all this filled up, and he was like, yes, and that's why he's here.
Wasn't
So
it
worked.
true that he appeared in the back of an interview in the
No,
pre-season?
it wasn't. It was at the airport, and
Yeah.
he was walking past, and he walked past the camera, and no one
No
no
one-
one
no, it
picked
was
it
to
up.
do with Reedy was talking about it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that on the pod I did?
Oh, maybe.
I think he did speak about that, but I got told in a meeting
Yeah.
that that's what happened.
Oh, no, that was the meeting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he spoke about it. No, that's right. So Reedy did mention it loosely on the pod. That's right. And then Tim Silvers clarified it
That's
at the
right,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So-
is like, that's absolutely hilarious
Is
because
great.
everyone was so hot on where Peatling was going at that time too. Anyway, I'm really pleased for everyone, and yeah, it was just a really good game. So hopefully we can bring it again.
Not to keep
this
this
weekend.
going, but Draper. We haven't even talked about him.
Well, he came on as a sub, and he didn't get the ball. He didn't get the ball in his hands a lot, but he
But he got it
he
straight
looks
away.
so good.
Yeah.
He looks so good, and yeah, I can't wait until we unleash him.
Well,
properly.
he still managed 8. I think it was 8 disposals over the quarter and a half, which
Yeah.
is pretty good for a debut. And Just the buzz from the crowd and cheering him when he came out.
Oh,
Whenever
I
he
love
was
that.
warming up on the side,
Yeah.
yeah, was cheering. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not seen that
Sid's
kind of
gone for a
excitement
run.
since Thilthorpe.
Yeah, that's true.
Very pleased for Sid, and how good would that feel? Just like, so it would be so surreal, wouldn't it? You'd be like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be playing football, but everyone's cheering for me. I don't know what to do.
I think everyone just sees that this is another Crow for life, and this is the
for sure.
history of seeing him play his first game.
Absolutely.
Just before we get into votes, I just got a couple
Yeah.
of cool comments from
Yeah.
from the chat. Adam Wallace said, I thought Tex played a good role and let Thriller and Fog take the lead up forward.
Yep.
If he's playing 70% game time and probably missing a few road trips where 3 tools aren't needed, that'll be perfect. He
Absolutely.
looks like he's accepted that he's not the top banana anymore and won't try to cash in golden ticket because of past glory.
Good on you, Tex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he knows his position at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hades, Nathan. His performance was just overshadowed by the game 1 breakouts from some of the other draftees. I think that was about Curtin, I think.
Draper, you mean?
Draper. Oh, was it Draper? Oh, I should have probably saved the other comment.
He also,
That would've been good.
he got overtaken by Lawler's Peen.
Look,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lawler's eggplant fell out of his shorts at
Oh.
the end of the Richmond game, so that's been all the talk.
Wasn't it
I
straight
must have
after
missed that.
kicking a goal or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
He's
How does that
pretty,
happen?
Pretty close to signing a deal with Bonds, I've
Yeah,
heard.
that's what I've heard.
some good chat though,
Dearie
guys.
me.
Thanks. Keep it up. All right, we doing votes?
Yeah, let's go for it. All right, Dan, tell me your votes.
All right. Well, big surprise here. I've got 3 votes for Dawson. That was pretty much captain's knock. Amazing game. That goal from 65 out. Absolute chef's kiss. I gave 2 to Rankin. He pretty much played mainly mid and just amazing game. He obviously gave us another great option in the midfield, which we've been hoping for a long time. Still kicked a couple of goals in the end, so he definitely did his job, even though he wasn't up forward much. And I gave 1 to Darcy Fogarty, who I think just owned that forward line, showed his leadership, and it was fantastic.
Cool.
Do you hate Saligo?
Oh, look, it's hard.
It's very
I
hard.
could have put 18 players in those votes.
Ben, who you got?
So I don't hate Saligo. I actually had him as for 3 votes. I thought he was a key part of our midfield, and he's a key part for why we look a lot better this year.
Sure.
So 2 to Dawson, 2 goals. I think he only just got pipped by Saligo. He sort of had a quiet second or third term when he was getting tagged effectively until he got back off of that again.
And why were you watching him so closely, Ben?
Captain Dawson. It was very handy. Yes. I didn't want to bring such things up for
No,
you, Sam.
no, shut up, Ben.
All
Keep
right.
going.
And I gave 1 vote to Rochelle. So I
Very
just
good.
thought the way that he kicked goals, but he also contributed to so many goals being kicked is
Absolutely.
important.
Well, I also had 3 for Sligo, Ben, so I'm on the same page as you. I gave it to Solly because he had a couple more disposals and his efficiency was slightly better than Dawson's. Plus, he had the 8 tackles, so very well done to Solly. Dawson, obviously 2 goals. He took 9 marks as well, which was great. And I gave the 1 to Rankin because how can you not? 28 disposals, 5 tackles, 7 score involvements in the end, plus 2 goals. Awesome. Sam?
Very similar, but I gave 3 to Dawson. He got tagged and still did what he did.
Yep.
2 to Saligo and 1 to Rankin. So, yeah, we're all pretty similar.
Easy. Do you have any Nuzz? We didn't actually forewarn you about the votes.
Well, I think I already did it on another thing, but I think I wasn't banned from doing voting for not taking it seriously. Is it?
Well, you're part of the team now.
Well, that's not.
Oh, no. Has Ben given you a column? You have to.
Fuck,
I think if we banned anyone, it was probably Sam.
who have I got?
He never
You've got a
usually
few to
prepares.
choose from.
Yeah, Arlo Draper, KG Cunningham was all right on the day, and James Rowe.
Going to go with delete column.
No, I already did it before, and it was from memory. Saligo 3 votes, Dawson 2, Crouch 1.
Oh, excellent.
Nice one.
Love it. Right.
Hi, I'm Tyson Edwards.
You're such a quiet
All right. My Tyson Edwards quiet achiever this week was Rochelle. Absolutely huge game from Rochelle. He was like, he had that kind of game where he was immense, but also kind of quiet.
It was a
because he didn't
loud
kick all
game,
the goals.
I thought he was loud.
Well, he was handing him off, so,
Yeah, it's
He was
true.
loud.
Yeah.
it's a quiet game for Rash, is what I'm saying. Dan?
Yes, I didn't comment much when you mentioned this guy earlier because I wanted to have him for my votes and didn't want to give it away, but I gave him to Josh Worrell, who I thought was amazing. I actually thought Hinge was really good too, so it was a bit of a struggle with those two, but I think Weasel definitely stood out a little bit more.
Sure. Sam, who you got?
I went for Crouch.
Yep.
Kind of the definition of a quiet game. I didn't realise he had the ball as much as he did, to be honest, and didn't do a lot wrong from memory.
No.
So, yeah, I thought it was good.
Cool.
Almost a bit of a fourth vote, but yeah.
I'm giving Nuzz a little bit more time to think about this
No,
one.
I already know.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, Lockie Shoal.
Yes.
Yeah.
A boy!
Most distance covered in the entire game, so
Yes. Love shot.
20
Yes.
touches.
You
And
should
he
have
just
heard
goes
me.
unheralded, just gets his 20 touches.
You
and
should have heard me
Unheralded,
yelling
quite
when he took
achievement.
that one-handed
Yep.
mark on the
literally
wing
the
there.
definition.
the few rows in front of us did.
Woo! Yes, Sonny! Right, Ben, who you got?
I had Worrell like Dan.
Fantastic.
Very good.
First round of votes done for the season. Love it. All right, let's get into
Something.
Dog Act.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, no, the dog act. Oh, it does have one.
Press the button,
Excellent.
Sam.
Oh, no, sorry.
Dog Act.
This week's dog act is a little bit of low-hanging fruit, just bringing dog acts back in. Mainly, we're due for a dog act. And someone was telling us how Dawson apparently got punched in the face during the game the other day, and then Ben Key stood up for him, but we couldn't find any footage of that. So in lieu of that, I've gone back to the well of hating on opening round. And just a bit of extra ammunition, which I'm sure, Ben, you can appreciate, is how opening round has already ruined fantasy, so they don't really think about that when they're scheduling these games. We've got a bye already this week for GWS and Gold Coast, so if you've got any of their players, you're stuffed already.
I'm impressed with how much other people are talking about this, and I haven't mentioned the word yet.
Well, I name dropped you in it anyway.
Yep.
But I think this really goes out to AFL House and how they, Laura Kane, came out and said that, our opening round's here to stay. Sorry, what?
Still on my thunder.
You'll get to that. But despite, the fans clearly hating it by and large across all forums, that's the dog act for this week. It's opening round. Press it again, Sam.
Oh, no.
If you really like the sound of the opening round, you're an AFL House clown. Dog act.
Nice.
Dan.
Yes. That's dog act. for this
Hashtag
week.
Dog
Laura
Act for
Kane.
this week.
I do love Laura though. She's
There you go.
I
No.
put her.
I'm off her.
I put
honestly.
her. Yeah, I am too.
Anything she says, it just seems a bit like contrite and opposite to what
I don't think you're
people
picking up what I mean. No, but that's all right.
I don't think her. I don't.
Sorry.
I just really don't care about Laura Kane. Really, I think most of her criticism is seeped in misogyny as usual. But however, I think her and Andrew Dillon are so uncharismatic as people.
I can't stand Andrew Dillon.
Could
Like,
either of them say something that just resembles what the general public think, though?
No,
that's what I don't understand.
That's what I was going to say.
They're so defiant.
I know you
Like,
want to get
yeah.
into opening round further in your segment, I'm sure, but is there an argument for opening round given how big round one was?
Absolutely,
Is
but-
it like the argument? Are they going to gaslight us and be like, well, round one was so successcul because we had that opening round where none of you gave a fuck. So now you
sure
really
that's not
care
what they
about
do.
round one and it's worked in our favour.
I don't know. Yeah, like they just seem to not give a absolute fuck what the fans think at all. Like they say the opposite and they back it and they dig their heels
You
in.
care about one
What did she
thing.
say? What was the other thing? Oh no, it was when the umpires were stuffing up constantly, and they said it was the
Dylan
best.
said it was the best it's been umpired.
Yeah, which I think was a
Yeah,
bit of
that's
deflection.
that's the
but,
other one I'm
yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah.
And it was clearly wrong.
Well,
but-
Dylan's been out since Laura Kane came out, and he said how opening round is ticking all the boxes that it needs to. It's I think their big metric is there's record Northern State club memberships. I don't know if that's because of one game.
Which
Don't
one
we
of you-
just do records every year because they find a new way to sell some bullshit?
Yeah.
Yes,
membership?
they do.
And didn't one of you say last week, why don't they just move some of the games up north for the first round?
Yeah.
And it's going to do the same
maybe
thing.
GWS has a special one-game opening round membership, and suddenly it's
Wow.
really spiked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really
It's like when
strange.
Port Adelaide had the pet membership counted in there.
Oh, Port Adelaide. Can we talk about them at some point? Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get to that, I reckon. We'll get to our next segment, though.
You're so Kane.
Bet you think this part is about you. You're so Kane, so Kane. You probably think this part is about you, don't you, don't you? He would. I was just doing backup vocals for our own singing band. You're So Kane is back because Kane is using his meal ticket of the Crows to be relevant in media again as usual. He's got nothing else to talk about. So this week he's talking about Tex isn't in the best 22. Well, clearly he is, as we've discussed already. But the big thing that he brought up this week, which I thought was a huge miss, was talking about how Thilthorpe has allegedly missed a huge payday by signing on with the Crows early. Come on, Kane.
Why is he constantly undermining the managers of these players? Like, do you think the management are completely clueless?
No.
I think they know what they're doing.
And I mean, the market is for paying players more than they're worth in some circumstances. Like you're talking about how much they're offering players potentially like Harley Reid, some of the key forwards in the past like Tom Boyd, these guys who are just getting millions. Yeah, he could go and get millions of dollars to play for St Kilda, but he supported the Crows growing up. He lives in SA. He'll get paid what he's worth when the time comes. It's more indicative of reality rather than just getting paid on potential.
Yeah.
And Thilthorpe's going nowhere. He will be a Crow for life unless it gets to a point where someone overtakes him and he decides to go take money elsewhere to play more games.
And that's fair enough if he does that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's so many examples about, look at Geelong, Hawthorn have passed where people take, 10% less money because they're already getting paid a shitload of money because they know if they do that, they can sacrifice that towards getting more players, better players, and then they win a flag.
Yeah.
I mean, two and two together. Kane's just been a fucking...
Well, you made a good point today as well, Nuzz, about, recruiting, fans of the club. And they're happy to be on less money because they're living out their dream.
I said that in my first pod. We did it, is it how we won our fucking flags to begin with?
Yeah.
Really, is everything we're based upon is they're South Australian players, get a couple of Vicks in, that's fine. And then we just went away from that, hired Fergus, Watson, Lawrence Angwin, and then just went downhill from there.
What's wrong with Lawrence?
I've got a story for off air about Lawrence, but anyway.
Look, honestly, these guys are probably coming up soon in my debut number.
But we just went away from that, and we went really robotic in the way we thought about list management and everything else, and we were trying to be generic, and we didn't really go back to what made us unique. South Australian.
Yeah. I think...
It's not all that money for some people, Kane.
No, it's not. But, I mean, Kane, the thing that Kane can always fall back on is that's actually factual reporting. Yes, he could take more money to go elsewhere, but it's just shit reporting at the same time. Why even bring up the obvious thing just to, rile up Crows fans? Because that's what he does, and that's why he's got a segment.
He gets paid for, and he's on every channel to do that now.
And that's You're So Kane.
All right.
If you want to know what's in the script,
it's smashing through these segments, people.
How
Are we? Look at this.
We're actually pretty organised.
Prepared or something.
It's almost like that chat GPT agenda I put together at the start of the year is working.
Look, just a quick one. We did the podcast last week, and I went around to my parents afterwards, or not after the podcast, clearly. It was a bit late, but in the following days, and my dad was very upset that I didn't put in. He's bought a new pizza oven, one of those like home pizza one, like proper gas. It's an Uni.
Uni, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very good, actually. I was a bit skeptical to start with, but it cooks them incredibly well and way quicker than you would ever think.
In what proximity to your house now does Mr. Marnie live?
Within a minute.
Can he get some pizzas for Lizzie's upcoming party?
It was discussed.
He doesn't trust them with the oven. It's too new.
We call him Vincenzo now, and I don't think he's capable of doing that many in a row.
Oh, I'm not asking for a lot.
Oh, you just want a few? Yeah. Just come around just for you?
Just a taste test.
Well, you've brought it up in the pod.
They're
so
probably watching, so maybe I'll get Dave in the chat, see what he says. Maybe. But anyway, he was very upset that I didn't mention pizzas, and he was also doubly upset because someone mentioned Encounter Bay last week. Dad was an Encounter Bay legend back in the day.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Well, they're the Eagles, are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So I can't remember why was it Ian Perry? That was why it got brought up last week, I reckon.
Perry and Welsh played in their premiership.
Yeah.
Can I just segue off of that mention of Perry? Thanks to Vardy Magic, I did reach out to Ian Perry via SMS. No, don't get excited.
He told you to piss off?
I copped out and just SMS'd him, and he has not responded.
Gee, I wonder why.
Are you going to call
I
him?
can't believe you actually did it.
Yeah.
You're going to try calling him on a different
Is there
phone?
Ballsier than me.
Is there anything more gutless than getting a random mobile phone number and just sending an SMS and just seeing what happens?
Oh, I wouldn't have done that. So.
Well, who knows? It might not even be a relevant number anymore.
But I didn't see it because I got there a little bit late. But the pregame was apparently very good and needs to be brought up here.
Holy
You missed out. I
did,
moly.
apparently.
Can we talk about it for a minute?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Let's go, Lauren.
Well, I mean, first of all, like the logo and all the banners and, you know, the screens, whatever, looks phenomenal. Let's,
Sorry, yeah. Can I just set the scene really quickly before you go into
sorry,
more?
I'm not doing it properly. Go on.
No. I was just going to say, only just before it kicked off, I said to Lauren, when are we going to fucking change our pre-game thing, just the fire going? And
Oh, well, I already knew that it was changing.
Well, I
I don't know
didn't.
why I knew that, but I don't know, it got mentioned somewhere that I knew that the pregame was going to get switched up. So,
But after I whinged for a minute to you, what happened?
oh, well then, what did we hear? Riffs, just guitar. We're like, what's happening? Oh, hang on a minute. It's Metallica. They're running out to Metallica.
Sad but true.
Oh my God. What? Why has it taken so long? Guitar makes everything better. I can't believe we've been running out to whatever the fuck we've been running out to.
But what
And
else
then-
makes everything better?
Then next minute, look up on the roof. It's a saxophone guy playing, and I got the song wrong on the day, but he was playing like Avicii.
Kenny G.
I will say the only missed opportunity there was he could have ripped out some Careless Whisper.
Oh,
and it would
could
been
have.
over.
I'm sure there's time. There'll be time. But we're all like, what? He's just jamming on the saxophone up on the rooftop. We're all like, whoa, this is wild.
He's friends with friend of the pod, Kate, apparently.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, then,
was-
Matt Samet, she's saying, brother of a close friend of mine. Incredible. And then, obviously, the next bit is the build-up to
Just
the
when you thought
siren.
it couldn't get better.
And now you all know, listeners of the podcast will know how much we hated the League of Legends song and how boring it was, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. But we have changed. We have changed. And of course, it was Sandstorm.
Sandstorm.
Oh my God. You can't get better than that. It was just so
That is-
good. It was so good. Now, I don't know if I mentioned in a meeting you guys should just play Sandstorm or something, or if someone did that and someone.
taking credit for this,
I
Lauren?
kind of am. It could have been anyone. It could have been anyone.
I actually have a feeling. Oh, I do remember that at the meeting.
Oh,
actually.
Mark-
yeah.
Mark's
I'll vouch
vouching
for
for
that.
you.
I do
Honestly,
remember.
if
Thank
it
you.
wasn't me that
Hearing.
mentioned it, someone else did.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I reckon they've gone with it. They've just gone, yeah, Sandstorm. That's actually a good idea.
I hope they stick with this.
Look, I'm looking forward to the next night game because you
Yeah.
can imagine Sandstorm. Get me pissed and get me a glow stick. Like, I will. Yes.
I don't know if
Love
this.
it.
Speaking of getting pissed, I don't know if this is going to be in Sam's bads, but I don't think I can afford to get pissed at Adelaide.
Oh, yeah, who can? Hey, Chris. Yeah, and we got a nice message from Chris who won the tickets to the game last week. He said he gave him to his 16-year-old twins, and they'd actually trained with Harry Boyd before he went off to St Kilda, so they got to see his debut game. So really glad they had a good time, Chris. That's awesome.
I was actually going to put in the goods the photo that his kids sent to him with the monkey or whatever that was at the front.
It's
It was
terrifying.
very good. Yeah, it was very good.
And we can confirm any future tickets you'll be getting a general access Western stand.
And you can sit with the rest of us
They were
as
definitely
we fight over them.
Much better tickets than we had, that's for sure.
Yeah, they were very good tickets,
Yeah,
weren't they?
good
They looked
seats.
like good seats, yeah.
You're welcome.
Definitely with the rich people.
All right, Bads. Oh, actually,
Oh,
not,
are we done
look,
with talking about the pregame?
yeah, you
That
guys
was it.
done?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right, yeah. All right. I've got two not sures this week, just in the middle. I got a lot of Bads too, sorry.
Wow, is
I'll
this
try and
a
move
new
this
part
up.
of your segment?
Well, it's just the two things.
It's a Midland.
Yeah, Midland. One was I went through Strath the other day. Too late, sorry, Ben, so I couldn't.
Is
call
that the
in.
mid? Is that just going through Strath? Is that the mid?
No,
Oh.
there's more to it. I just want to get Ben's.
Well, what time are we talking?
I was like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, not a good
I'm
time.
awake at night.
Oh, well, might have been a bit. Kids are asleep, so it was just lobbing in.
Best time to get there. Kids are asleep.
I will remember that for next time. Sorry.
This is the standard floor stock, Kate.
Yeah. What's this?
Well, it's not the bargain bin. It's not what's in the spring. It's just the standard
somewhere
stock.
in the middle.
Recommended retail price.
Yeah.
I just want to get Ben's opinion on chicken flipping and dipping.
I want to know about that too, Ben.
How have you never been?
It's the name of some
That
sort of chicken shop.
Now,
and
we do have multiple chicken shops. So is that the one closest to the hardware stores?
it's down that side street that you come in if you're coming in from like the sort of I don't even know what direction, some sort of east direction.
Oh, this is riveting podcasting.
I can't believe you don't know it.
Well,
I see it
Wow.
every time I drive through.
I have a wife who has an aversion to eating chicken, so
Okay.
They're avoiding that.
Well, this
that
is.
limits our.
I thought this would be way funnier anyway. Shut up, Ben. All right. Well, the only other thing I'm not sure
The
about
way to cook the perfect chicken is
is just to get everyone's opinion on Rumman, the Tassie Devil.
Oh, love it. Love it.
rum and coke.
Is it called
Rumman.
Rumman because of rum and coke?
I don't know.
The ramen
I
bit I
hope so.
don't get, but I do like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
man.
my
It
mum
reminds
seemed
me
to
of a
like it.
Muppet, which
Yeah.
is, I love that.
I see that. I put that Radis in the chat before I realised that literally everybody had also done that.
Yeah, I tweeted it. I took credit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Can anyone give us some intel on the name ramen? Because
Yeah, we need to know more.
I believe it's a Japanese
Tasmanian-
noodle dish.
yeah, that's
Kate
right.
said apparently it's a Tasmanian term for something.
Okay,
Nah.
Chase, we'll
Look,
get
there's two
Chase Jones.
Tasmanian. There's two Tassie semi.
No one uttered
That-
those words to me when I
Nah.
lived there. No.
Should we ask Chase Jones?
Were you born there?
No.
I can check with Claire, but she never
Yeah, I
said it
reckon
to me.
Dial Claire in. I
Yeah,
reckon.
maybe ask Claire. Yeah, that's a good.
No,
idea.
How would she?
I
How
like
would she
it.
feel about a live call right now?
What's the time? I think she'd feel fairly negative about it.
I think people don't like it because of the texture. Because every other mascot is just like a.
Are we still talking about the chicken or?
Or the ramen?
Chicken flipping and dipping.
Just eat the damn orange.
Don't dip ramen. Don't lick ramen.
I've had some good ramen in Tassie. Anyway,
But
yeah.
Right. Nice.
Can we talk about the Bombers game, for fuck's sake?
Oh yeah.
I've got this poor bloke
No, not
sitting
yet.
here.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
fucking
So,
waiting.
talking about
Not yet.
ramen.
I've got some stats about the G. Let's just.
We're gonna make
He's
him
got
sweat.
more. He's got
Hang on,
more.
I've got bads.
Footwear sacrificed at half price.
This is an entertainment
And
pod
equipment
as well as a
slashed
footy
to half
pod.
price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
Bad. Steen's not entertained.
Yeah, that's right.
He is. He's been cracking up the whole time.
Just really quickly, the Archer suspension. I don't think. I think the suspension was kind of fine because I think what the AFL said about that this doesn't happen anymore because players are treat it this more seriously and just don't do what he did. Mm-hmm. But how there's not a mechanism to maybe give him 1 week or 2 weeks instead of 3 is crazy to me. But not sure what you guys think.
Pretty severe. Well, the first time I saw the footage, I was like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." Like that was my first instinct.
My first instinct
Bad
was it
idea.
could have been a free kick to him.
Are we talking about
Contact.
the Archer one?
Yeah.
Can I say this from someone who's been concussed on a footy field like
Yes.
half a dozen times? It's bullshit. Accidents happen.
They do.
Fucking
yeah.
hell. Do you know how fast they're going on the AFL field?
Yeah.
What is he meant to do?
And that's what, after watching it a few more
Ridiculous.
times, I was like, "Well, what can you do?"
Bartel had some very strong words. He's on the 5AA Row show. You can just hear the podcast back on that one. I was listening to it before I came in and he was scathing of it. And when Bartel says stuff like that, the AFL, well, don't listen because it's Laura Kane and Andrew Dillon. But anyway, we can hope for the best. So,
I mean,
ridiculous.
It just screams to me the AFL just like, please do not sue us. Don't.
Yeah.
Like they're just they are so paranoid.
It looked
about
like
that.
two rules colliding as well. You had him getting in trouble for the concussion, but the other guy could have been taken for caking him under the knees. So-
Yeah,
Well, if they're worried about it, just give him a week or something.
it's excessive.
Yeah,
I mean,
3 weeks is ridiculous.
I mean, what kind of deterrent is that? Because as someone, I can't remember who said it because there's so many footing commentators right now. I don't know who's saying what, but like, it's not a deterrent because you can't stop that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way.
Somehow,
of
if we got the
avoiding it.
laws of physics and changed it,
Yeah.
right, to suit the AFL's needs, that would be the
Matrix
best thing.
way,
Yeah,
yeah.
fucking idiots.
Just a quick update. I checked on the map and I have actually been to that place once or twice.
Oh, right. That's
Chicken flipping and kicking.
Where's the
whatever it's
comedy gold now? Sam?
Nah, look, you wasted it, Ben.
All right.
The
Absolutely.
comedy goal's already happened.
Yeah. Just a couple of quick ones. Victoria advertising around the boundary at Adelaide Oval, was that necessary?
They're desperate for tourism.
I'm pretty sure-
Where we have beat them now.
Yeah,
We're
maybe.
it.
Yeah.
We're the city to beat.
Well, they were doing it in WA too, as far as I could tell.
Oh, they're
in the game,
desperate.
so, yeah, a bit strange. The ground announcer at the games, he can get in the bin. I don't like him at all. He's really, and he just yells the whole time. Just shut up. Just talk normally. It's so loud. Let's try this. Are we back?
How does that happen?
Sorry, team.
Are we
Your
back?
Zoom call's now ended.
We're on now.
Oh, are we back?
We're back. Where were we up to?
Are we back?
Don't know.
What did you hear last?
Oh, sorry, guys.
We're back.
My computer, we've got some special Wi-Fi up here and my computer flicked back to the other one. I need to maybe get rid of it.
All good. We're back on.
Maybe it preempted Ben's fantasy. Classic.
Poor Ben. If you could see him now. Oh, you can see him.
That is a good comment.
Why do we even create a stinking league if we don't want to talk about it?
Anyway, we were whinging about alcohol prices.
Anyway,
It's
yeah.
the opening round. Blame that.
Alcohol prices are ridiculous. Just another quick one. The phone reception, I don't know if anybody else had trouble, but my
it was
phone
the worst.
My phone never has issues at the ground. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, no, it was shit.
I was trying to check how good my fantasy team
sports
was,
bet-
which was very good.
my
It's like the
multi
old
wasn't
footy
loading.
park days. Yeah.
I beat you, Ben. Shut up.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
I
thing.
can't, no, I
you
can't
wait.
talk about the multi. On.
No, no multi-chat.
Gamble
Did you get
responsibly.
him started? He won $7. Very proud.
It's true though, I did.
$5,000 cash prize, Mr. Dawson.
Guys, I
Not sure
turned,
the Huey Crow account's that healthy.
I
sorry.
turned $2 into $7. That's all you need to know. All right, go on.
But the worst thing happened today
I
was
think
the...
you're forgetting the real worst thing, but do yours.
well, no, you go first because this needs
Alright.
discussion.
Okay. Well, we're talking about overpriced beers. A self-serve overpriced beer place
Yes.
stood in place of the hot cinnamon donuts place.
Oh no.
That
I was
is
wondering where the hot cinnamon
Absolutely
donuts were.
absurd.
Look at how angry he is.
He was fuming.
That is my ritual.
Does that mean there's no more
He was
hot
trekking
cinnamon
around the whole oval looking for hot donuts.
I went out, I turned the corner, and it's like, what the hell is this? And then I got something else to eat, and then I looked the entire breadth of the Western Stand, could not find a hot cinnamon donut.
So-
It saved my life. I don't know if any of the listeners can tell me where to get them other than the train station, because this.
Yeah, we
this
need
is-
we
it's not
need
just for
we
me.
need to know.
My children come. This is what they expect with a game of the football.
Yeah.
Lauren expects it by now. So
Do you know how many donuts Ben's bought me over the
Ben,
years?
I even break my gluten-free thing for that. You know?
oh, it's worth breaking gluten for. Don't
Why do you
worry.
reckon it's train
So,
station only?
oh,
I'm gonna write. We need to write an email. I think.
this is why do we need a self-service beer
Oh,
over
wait.
hot cinnamon
Boise
donuts?
says behind the hill. Well, that's way too far from where we are.
Oh, behind the hill. All right.
We'll pay you, Boise, to bring some.
That's not far from where it used to be, though, if it's behind the hill.
There's a chance I'm still desperate enough to make that straight.
I reckon you would be. Yeah.
Especially if you've got a screaming kid, which
Yeah.
none of them were, but, assuming.
No,
they'd
no, she
get
wasn't
to that
screaming.
point.
No.
Riley O'Brien, Riley O'Brien appearing on a podcast called Based.
With the worst person in politics.
Yes, Senator Ian Antic.
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Like, you can have shit politics. I don't care, whatever. Like, you're not the only one. But why would you go on that podcast with literally a nut job? He's a nut job, man.
Yeah.
It's not a good look at all.
I said it earlier today, but Riley O'Brien is the most likely to get Warren Treadray into the future.
Now, I did a chat GPT today of like Alex Antic controversies. So I just want to give you a quick list. His alignment with far-right media, his opposition to COVID-19 measures, accusations against the ABC of grooming children by featuring drag queen Courtney Act on a children's program. Like, come on. Proposal to ban gender-affirming care for minors, internal party conflict, critique of welcome to country ceremonies, opposition to abortion law reforms, and he wants to be Donald Trump. That guy can fuck off. So what are you doing, Rob?
Yeah, it's
And
not
just
good.
for some balance, I think Alex is a great guy.
And you're never coming back, Ben. So that was the last quiz.
I think you just need to listen a bit harder, and some of those policies really make sense. If you really think about it.
Look, Joseph Goebbels
tell if
had
you're
some
serious.
interesting policies.
He's being funny. He's had a beer.
Anyway, terrible, terrible, terrible.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
I mean-
I think, yeah.
He's making it hard to like him, isn't he?
Oh, I didn't before.
No, I
this
know.
is just-
It's kind of driving
this
it
is
home.
tough. Yeah, really tough.
The hard thing is everyone at the club loves him. So.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. Yes. Yeah, he does, Jaden.
Are we the
unfortunately.
baddies?
Maybe. Are we the baddies? Yeah. All right, what's next?
We're going to
Ben's backyard.
preview the. Does Ben have Ben's backyard?
Does he?
Generally.
I want to see.
Do you have something to say?
I just want to see if this works. And this is Lauren's got the touchiest little video of Ben over the top of Burke.
Oh, no.
Hello, Ben.
Oh, I didn't flick back.
It did.
Seamless.
Oh, I did. Look at that. It worked.
What's in season, Ben?
It's a Ben's backyard tile. Yeah. It's different. Anyway,
Well,
what's going on in the backyard, Ben?
well, there's some big decisions being made currently. I am in the hunt for a selection of deciduous trees.
What's that?
Trees that drop their leaves in autumn.
Okay.
Oh, mine does that. Do you want to come see?
Mine does
Come take my tree.
Well, you'll find several trees do that. Dan.
Well, I get to take care of his house plant.
wow.
So the front yard, looking at a Chinese pistachio. So it is an ornamental,
Just one?
so not actual
Sorry.
nuts coming, but very nice little small pinnate leaves. Really good autumn colour. And out the backyard, looking at a snow pear and a Biloxi crepe myrtle.
Wow, that means nothing to me. So
No.
you're also going to get a leaf blower with these trees?
Just
or?
quickly, I have 19. I counted it. I didn't even know what the fuck they were called. Deciduous trees, you say? And they look, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, it is.
That,
I have one.
No,
You
it is-
Are you making a
collect-
huge mistake?
You collect those leaves and you...
you collect them.
Maybe
19 of the
maybe
fuckers
I
on my
will.
property. I'm sick of them. Every time I walk, there's just leaves blowing everywhere.
Put them into like
I
a
agree with you.
little wire cage. Let them just rot down over a year or so. And
Who's got little wire cage? What have you got wire cages for?
it's worth it, Dan.
And then what? Use it as mulch?
Rob told me to get
turns
one.
into what we call leaf mold, and that has the best water holding capacity.
I wanna know
of
what you're doing with
anything.
the
You put that
cages
into
when
your
they're not being
soil.
used for that.
Your soil will not go dry. You will have fantastic
Dude,
structured soil.
Dude's sitting here just waiting for his segment, listening to this crap.
He doesn't even get the funny stingers in between.
I've got a tree in my backyard that drops leaves. Can I do this?
Year round or at one go? Like just in
It
autumn,
seems
loses
like it's
its
year
leaves?
round because there's lots of leaves everywhere. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
It might be a giant lily pilly, actually.
Yeah, all those leaves you can use it. That's
Can
great
you
stuff.
All right,
give
good
us
to
a demonstration, not on the podcast, but like, via the group chat or something? Just show us
I reckon
those
you should
cages.
film a Ben's backyard episode and
we
we'll
could
actually
play
just
it.
run it one night.
Oh, this is an exciting, very important part of the structure of my yard. So these are very important decisions. These are lifetime decisions.
Yeah, yes.
Honestly, you're going to have to send us some photos so I can put them on social media.
I
Make
actually
a whole
just want
TikTok about
to.
it.
I want to see what he's doing, so I actually have a clue. But
Well, we're going to have an away game up at Strathclyde surely at
Yes.
some stage this year.
anyone on the chat, if you would be interested in seeing a Ben's Backyard YouTube show, let us know, and we'll make it happen. Maybe.
All right. Is that it for Ben's backyard? We're going to do enough now and I'll get her out of the way so Dino
last
can
thing.
come in.
Oh,
yeah.
You'll find this hard to believe. When I've gone to 3 tree nurseries now.
Yeah.
2 of which were a lot less enthusiastic than I was about trees.
Oh, less.
They should be selling me trees. They just couldn't be bothered with me. The last one, great. Chat away, no worries. But the first
now
2,
you know where you're shopping.
yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
So there
business.
you go.
Maybe that's your actual calling, Ben. You should be working in a garden centre and talking to other people about trees.
Oh,
You're wasting your time with the geriatric
I
whatever you do.
I have worked in a nursery in the past, but it wasn't sustainable, no.
Yeah.
That's fair. Right, moving on,
Physiotherapy
Dino,
is
calm
what I
down.
Geriatric physiotherapy is what the word I was looking for. I think that's loosely your job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Well. Last week we had Alex Leahy come to talk about the Saints, and it was a high bar to try to get another celebrity in. And
And
I
you failed.
No, well, I may have failed on the outset. I did have. I found out. I tried Peter Garrett, who's the Essendon supporter, did not respond. May not have had the correct email. And I tried Nick Giannopoulos on your recommendation, Dean. Didn't respond for the second year running. I then got a lead on Charlie Pickering, who responded and said, "I'm very busy, but I might be able to squeeze it in." Did a follow-up, no response, left me on red. Did another follow-up, left me on red. And that leaves us with our man on the inside from the hangar. It's he's a young high school, old collegian, played forward flank for them. He's the mayor of Mount Barker. And he's got all the hot goss down at the Tides, which is what we call Essendon. It's sheep stations this week, as you all know from previous years. What does sheep stations mean to you, Dean? Tell us.
Well, this is the game of the year. Last year, round 19, was our game of the year.
And the earlier one of the season as well. The Draper controversy.
He's always a controversy.
Yes, well.
Does he ever do anything that's not controversial?
I mean, this is the Draper Cup,
Your
really.
ruck's controversial.
Yeah. Yeah, well, look, the Ruck Cup, yeah, there's links for us to get Draper in. I don't know how a lot of people are very anti us getting Draper, and it seems that a lot of Essendon people are very anti re-signing him, so he might be playing SNFL next year.
Well, the word on the streets is he's going to re-sign long-term with Essendon, so let's see.
See what happens.
Yeah, what's
Got a
happening?
couple of young kids if he doesn't want to, but at the moment he's probably still our best going around.
Yeah.
Tell us about where you see Essendon at the moment, Dean. What's the arc? What do you think is going to happen in the next few weeks?
Well, it's pretty clear this year that we've decided that we're going to play more kids. So we had a couple of debutants this week, young Kako especially. But like you guys were saying earlier, made a good decision in getting him. He come through our academy process, but he's an Essendon fan growing up. So, like you said, you want to get those kind of kids to your club so that you'll they're more willing to stay and they're more willing to sort of buy in. You're going to have other guys come and go and things like that. But doing the right thing by getting those guys in. So I think we'll be, if we're going to play the kids this year, we're going to be very up and down. We were obviously reasonably competitive last week. We played out the 4 quarters, which was nice, which is a change. It does help, doesn't it? Yeah. It does. But, I don't think we're going to set the world on fire. We'll probably have a couple of good games here and there, but we'll probably do what we normally do at the moment and kick around mediocre and finish mid-table.
I think you talk about that, and we've talked about the Bombers and how they normally come out with guns blazing for the first few rounds. Then it's about June that they lose pretty much every game, and then sort of limp over the line at the end towards 9th or something like that. But I sort of see them in the last few years to be kind of in a level pegging with the Crows in some ways, and obviously the games reflect that when we play each other. They're pretty tight. Where do you see Essendon in comparison to the Crows based on 1 week of football in pre-season?
Well, you're obviously winning it and we're not. So
winning
the flag.
The flag. Yes. The flag.
I don't know if it's winning plural at this point, but
take 1 week at a time, right? One week at a time. Nah, you guys should play finals this year. You should win. You should, not easily, but you should win the majority of your home games this year. There should be no reason why, with the talent that you've brought in, and some of your younger guys and kids going well, and you bring Draper along all right. I think you guys should play finals, and you should play finals easy, because if you win 10 of your 12 at home, you've got to win 4 or 5 away, and you're going to get to play some rubbish teams away. So you should have a pretty good chance. I mean, you get to play us this week, so that'll be 4 points in the bag.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably want to say that.
I think
this is
reverse psychology, I believe.
that's
Yes.
right.
No, Crows are shitter than Essendon, and I've got some stats to prove that too. So don't worry.
This is happening. I'm picking the Crows this week in the tips at work. So.
Well, it's just about the G. So I've got. You want me to get?
So you get into
Look,
it.
it's just about the G. So a lot of people might not know. They think, Essendon Eddie had, but no, it's actually at the G 12:50, I think, on Saturday, 12:50 Adelaide time, which is very unusual because the last time we played them was in 1995. So 30 years ago was the last time we played Essendon.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's all the Eddie had nonsense or whatever it's called. Eddie Marvel.
The sooner we get out of there and go back to the MCG, the
yeah,
better.
I don't disagree. Essendon is that kind of club. It seems strange that they chose to go to
Money.
Marvel. Well, that's
Money.
it, isn't it?
It's all about the money.
It always
But we're not
is.
going to win by 20 goals this time.
It's going to be. Yeah, no, that wasn't.
Score last time,
wasn't it?
you're about to bring that up.
Jesus, yeah. Who was that? Robert Shaw, was it? Fucking hell.
That was another example of us thinking, well, if we just get a Victorian coach, we'll be much better.
Yes, very generic thinking. But no, the G we've played 79 games all time. So what's that? How long have we been in? So what's that? 2 and a bit per year, basically, and that includes finals as well, which is bugger all when you think about it. 29, 1 and 49 is our record, which is only 36 more games than the defunct university, to give you an idea of how much the AFL love to fuck us. So, but it's interesting seeing the players who have played there and haven't won or have won, and it's a really interesting, strange list. But there's something that at the end of this that you might think, if only he does well, we might be winning this game. So Crouch has played 6, Cumming has played 5 through GWS, Dawson 4, Tex 10, Laird. Oh, so these are wins. Sorry, my apologies. So these are wins. So Crouch has played, I think it was about 20. So Crouch has had 6 wins, Cumming 5, Dawson 4, Tex 10, Laird 7. He's never kicked a goal there either. Keys has played 9 games there and not won once.
Wow.
So
That's when
9
Brisbane was shit.
9-0 Keys.
Well, I think we're on a consecutive 11 losses at the G. So
Yeah,
he-
well, it was 2017.
He's been around most of that time.
So
Yeah.
Keys has been here since 2020.
So blame Keys for it? No.
Well,
We can blame
Sam's
Rob
ready.
as well, because Rob is 6-0, so that's interesting.
Is
Yeah.
that why
Happy to
you
blame
said
those
that
two.
we will never win a premiership with Keys in
Exactly.
the team?
Yeah, I knew this stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. Millerer has won 2. Rankin has won 1. Interesting about that, before I get into Peatling, who's actually played 3 games there and won 2 with the GWS. The Rankin one, is that with Crows or Gold Coast?
Gold Coast.
Do you know what game it is?
No.
He said it with authority, but no, it's the against Collingwood, oddly enough, in 2021, round 7, I think. And strange thing about that game is that Mark Keane also played in that game, but for a loss, because Mark Keane has not won at the MCG, including him playing for Collingwood.
Yeah, right.
So he's not won there. He lost against Isaac Rankin at the MCG. Chris Burgess also played in that game too.
Wow.
So Chris Burgess has won at the MCG. So we need to get him in. Get him in the team, right?
We need
need that experience.
I don't think we need to go to that.
And Hugh Greenwood played in that game too. So that total wins of all of the players, which a lot of them is, Cumming, Dawson, and players from other clubs, Peatling too, is 37-1 contests at the MCG.
Right.
Neil Bullen has won 53 times. So he's won.
You're artificially padding the stats.
Yeah.
So he was, on a graceful day in a little manger there, somehow in South Australia, happened at the time as well. So he's won, out of 90 games played there. So, and we've also got Shane Edwards in the coaching staff, who's the 5th most wins ever at the MCG
Wow.
of any player. 176 wins at the MCG.
Wow.
And for Essendon, the strange thing, because they play enough but not enough, who do you think is the most wins for Essendon at the G?
Most wins for Essendon.
In current squad?
In the current squad, yeah.
In the current squad.
Yeah, the in year 40, whatever. Yeah.
Definitely 2 metre Peter.
No, he spent too
He
much
didn't
time,
play.
Spent too much time at Gold Coast.
It should be obvious once it's said. Most wins at the G.
In the current squad.
Yeah.
Come on,
Probably
Dean.
Merritt.
Yeah. Merritt with 27. So Neil Bullen has double the amount of wins than Merritt does, who has the most for Essendon. So that's, if we're going to win, it's going to be Neil Bullen. He needs to get his 25. Yeah.
It helps when you're playing 3 times the amount of games there.
No, Neil Bullen, all for the Crows. So I just thought that was some interesting stats there
Yeah,
about
that's
the
good.
G. So
Yeah. I liked it.
There you go.
That's good. We don't.
Since we're doing stats, and as I said,
Oh, yeah, you had a stat.
Yeah, I do. No, Ben likes stats. So,
One stat.
had a look at it. So this year's obviously new Crows logo. Last time you guys did your logo was in 2010. You give it a bit of a fluff at the end of 2009, but you brought it out in 2010. That year you played us in round 14 and smacked us by 84. So the last time
Brilliant.
you played us and changed your
I like
Logo.
this.
Yep.
This is good.
84-point win.
and what a great logo it was.
Is that when you sacked the coach? Is that the game you
in
sacked the
peace.
coach?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
No, you
Oh, it
sacked,
was a few years later.
no, they
wasn't
sacked the coach after
We sacked
138.
30 last game round of the year when you beat us over there at
Yeah,
the Dome.
yeah. That's
Smacked
what
us
I
by
was thinking
100.
of. Yeah.
No, different game.
it? Yeah.
But that was a good time for us to be smacking Bombers a few times around there.
Yeah, we won that elimination by 96, I think.
Yeah, we also
I had to
beat
rush
them.
from Mount Barker to get to that game, actually. So
Trent Henschel's best game where we beat
yes,
them by
and McGregor got
138.
5 in that game too, unheralded.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yes.
Nathan asks, Essendon performed well in the middle against Hawks last game. How does Dino think they match up against Crows midfield?
Similar.
Yeah.
Similar. Caldwell's fit this year. Merritt's obviously A-class.
Caldwell looked like a beast last week.
Yeah, he's had really good off-season uninterrupted. So he's good to go. And like you said, we did match it. We were pretty sloppy in the first quarter or so, but we sort of tightened a few things up and we steadied the ship after that. We just, the same problems as always, coast-to-coast goals and easy out of the centre goals once we'd already scored to try and peg back the lead. So I think we'll match up okay. We've got some guys that are pretty quick through there, like yourselves. But I think our issue is getting good entries forward. That's our problem. Is that we get it in there. We get it in there enough. There's not a problem with the volume that's going in there. It's the type of entries going in. If you're just bombing it in long and all that kind of stuff.
You won at 58-48 last week, the inside 50s. So
I think we won clearances as well. I
you
haven't
were
double-checked it, but clearances as well.
50-31. So.
Well, the Crows had that problem last year. We got enough of the ball. It's just the entry coming in was garbage, and
was rubbish.
Yeah.
So
How about Langford? Is he all right? I know
he's cooked.
He's cooked.
They're saying 4 to 6, but he's got hammy.
So that hurts you forward.
So
and Ridley out with a concussion, I believe.
yeah, he'll miss this week as well.
That's really too important. So what, in your eyes, is it the defence or the attack for your team that worries you? What do you think won't quite get the job done if you're a bit concerned as a Bombers fan?
I think it's Ben Mackay being afraid of the football.
At the moment.
Ben Mackay on filthy.
He's a big guy. Just use your body and hit people. Like, that's the whole idea of you being a key backman.
Well, the fact that he plays on Thursday night and then has to back up again on Saturday, playing at Carlton, then it's going to be,
playing 2 games a week
at
different ends of the ground. It's a hard gig.
What can you really expect?
But I think I don't think we're going to have the defence to stop your forward line all the time. I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to stop the ball up the front. That's where we're going to have the issue. We're going to need to stop the ball up the front. So,
I think where typically I've found Essendon, a scary proposition to play is their speed of ball movement out of the mid. Like, they've generally been better than us at that when we've played, but then it's the other ends of the ground where you've got some issues.
And I think definitely. That speed of movement as well has been helped by the fact that we've always played at Marvel or at the Docklands, whereas open air might be a little bit different. And I think the fact that we've got an actually more dynamic midfield now, I'd hope that we match up a lot.
I was going to say that because in the past we've had maybe both Laird and Crouch in the middle when we played the Bombers, which is not the ideal setup to play a speedy midfield like theirs.
No, like you're saying earlier, you need kids or you need guys in the middle now that are fast. So you can have one slow guy in there because you're always going to have someone who's good at getting the ball and getting it out. It's the first receiver that needs to have the jets to get it out of there.
I'm just going to go through the centre bounces for the Bombers last week, and it was Caldwell obviously had the most, and then we got Nick Bryan, ruckman, Elijah Sardis, who not a lot of people might not know about. Was he pick 5 about 3 years ago?
Yep.
And is it only really just coming to his strides now?
Because he can't kick.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's good for the Crows.
This is an issue with a lot of teams, right? If you're going to draft guys, you can train everything else. Just get people who can kick already. Look what Hawthorn do.
In his draft year, though, we were really hot on him going, because that's what we need.
He was good. Like, in his draft year, he was good. If you watch some of the junior stuff, he was a good player. But when I think the issue with that is that there's a lot of kids that are very similar around that, and it's very get the ball stuff and that kind of gear. But his kicking is just you need to be elite.
You get found out in the AFL, obviously quite easy when your skills
if you just
aren't up
chucking
to
it on the boot, kicking it forward, that's fine in a juniors game, sort of, but not at the top level.
So we've got Caldwell, Bryan, Sardis, Sam Durham.
Yep.
Merritt with only 18, which seems strange, and then Sam Draper, and then a few with Redmond, Perkins, and Hobbs. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't know what Redmond was doing in there in the first quarter anyway. Just put him back on the back line so he can hit people and move on.
And I think,
seriously, that's his job. That's what he does.
Redmond and Durham were basically doing the tag on Will Day, weren't they? They were sort of going each on him.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll employ a similar thing against Dawson?
I think you saw, if you watched the game last week, you would have seen that we were a lot better, structurally better when Redmond was nowhere near the guts. Just leave him on the bloody half-back line, do his job, and just move on.
Well, you'll need him on the back line against the
just
Crows
before
forward.
we do
So.
the-
We're going to need to anyway. And it depends on what you guys do too, right? If you're going to go in 3 tall again, if you're going to go in with Tex and with Filthy and with Fog.
And with Curtin.
Well, who are your
And
tall
with-
defenders? Because you got
What are
Ridley
they?
out. Like you got
What is this tall defender thing?
you got McKay, who
They just
isn't.
play tall, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but he's hiding behind the goalpost.
yeah, but I mean, he's got to play on someone. Like someone has to kick 6 goals a game, right?
Zach Reed's is he over 2 metres? Zach Reed?
He's close.
looks tall.
Yeah, he's only
He's
played
close.
10 games though.
He's,
that
yeah,
kid.
injury
Yeah.
prone, unfortunately. Once
Yeah.
again, another good junior, but just one of those guys whose
He was
body
taken the
doesn't.
same time as that Cox guy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yep.
similar time.
Yeah.
Just they're both about the same height. Just
Both injury prone.
Injury prone. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what are your thoughts about deciduous trees?
This is an explicitly rated podcast.
It's just like,
No.
You can't just bring
I
Ben's backyard into other segments.
I have them at my place and they're fucking annoying.
Thank you.
They're nice to look at, and
Yeah, for half the
like
fucking year.
change and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I agree, but
Fucking
if
annoying.
Ben can share his cage theory, then I might be into it.
Yeah, I can show you.
You take that how you like. All right, go.
Bit of water.
To Dennis. So we're right behind him, and the Carlton fans are right behind him. Once, twice, 3 times.
Oh, look at that.
Yes! He's the master blaster.
I know Ben had more to say about the
Nah,
cages.
he wasn't getting on to it quick enough.
But yeah, we have got
Move-
yeah,
time
we
to
are
move
considering time. But Dean, you know the drill with the Dennis Armfield Award. Who's going to take that for Essendon this week? Who's going to smoke the Crows when they probably shouldn't?
This week.
Yes, no, not this. Yeah, of course, this week.
This week. In future. This week.
The future is this week still. Yeah,
Draper.
Drake. Oh God!
I did have Draper as a bit of a go bang in the forward line sort of a player.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I think
He's unpredictable. Like
in the last
he'll
game,
beat Rob in the middle.
yeah, well, in the last game, I think they were pretty level pegging. I think Sam Draper did some flashy things that made Rob look bad, but I think overall in that game, Rob actually did pretty well.
Is he 50-50 rucking at the moment, Draper? Or is he more forward than ruck?
Probably half. At the
Who's
moment.
your other ruck?
Nick Bryan.
Oh, Nick Bryan.
Yeah, we've got a couple of kids coming through, but
Yeah,
the
I think
moment.
my only other 2 possibilities were you talked about Sardis. Maybe he'll have his breakout game this weekend. He'll kick some targets. Who knows?
well, that'd be nice.
Yep.
He gets enough of the ball. He can get the ball. He's very much like Joe. He can get a hold of the ball and he can get the ball out to that next person. The problem is that if he's got to hit it 20 metres on the foot to that person, that's the problem. But he can get the ball.
And then I think the traditional sort of Dennis would go to someone like a Jade Gresham, I think.
Yes.
He was to get a hold of us.
Well, he needs to come. He needs to come off the sub bench and go in the forward line because we're going to need forward half pressure.
Well, he will win. There's 2 injuries to important players, surely. So, like, I can
he's
see
gotta- he's-
Gresham coming in regardless of who comes out.
Yeah. Well,
And then-
he's got to come in, and then we've obviously got to find somebody down back, or move the other bits and pieces around and get somebody else in up forward for Langford as well. So, Kid Edwards that we picked up in the preseason, who kicked like 4 goals in the preseason game in a quarter
Yes.
or whatever it was. So he's probably naturally to take Langford's spot, and then who knows after that because Laverde's not ready yet to come back into the back line, and we don't have anybody super tall to match up on the 3 guys that you got. Who knows? Maybe they'll rest Tex this week and leave him home.
Did Peter Wright play last game, or is he
No, he's
close?
out.
No, he's injured. He's out.
He's
for,
done.
He's out
Is
for a
he?
couple. He's
He
out for a couple
He
more
did
weeks.
a
I think.
significant one, so yeah.
He's
okay.
out for a couple more weeks.
Jaden asked what's going on with Alwyn Davey Jr.
He got injured and rehab hasn't gone to plan, which is not unusual with us. So he's not ready to go yet.
Okay.
Not ready to go yet.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That's right. Kako's better.
Now, without using reverse psychology, which we know you're trying, Dean, what do you actually
I
think
don't
will
need to.
happen this Saturday at the G? Who will win and by how much?
I think you'll win by 2 goals.
So still pretty tight, you reckon?
Yeah.
Nice. Good. We'll get into our predictions a bit later, I think. But thanks for joining us tonight. Dean, the Mayor of Mount Barker. as
Any
you are.
final thoughts?
That was
Final-
it. No.
No, that's
Predictions on a final thought. You could have a random
Any final
thought.
thoughts?
No. We're good to go. You guys will win this one. You got the hoodoo out of the way last year after not beating us for like 8 or 9 in a row or something like that. So, and it's your logo year, so that's it. It's it's in the cards. It's in the cards.
All right. Well, let's hope you're right. Thanks, Dean. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming all this way.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Dean.
What's next, Samuel?
Social
Yes.
tips, and then just get out of here.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Get the
And
fuck
Bozza.
out of here.
I think just quietly as well, it was good to see Josh Rochelle get nominated for a goal of the week. I don't know if you guys
Goal
saw
of the
that.
year nom. Did you
Yeah.
vote?
No. Not
Come on,
yet,
Dan.
But I should.
All right, Bozza.
Yeah, let's get on to Bozza.
All right.
Yes.
It's like a sauna in here.
Oh no, where's Bozza gone in here?
Oh, no, you've done it. Oh, even after having early Boz.
We did all of the prep work. Deary me.
Evening, people. Round
Let's hope this
2
works.
from the sauna.
Still better than footy classified.
What could possibly go wrong?
Deb worked last week. Pretty close to
They're not working.
margin by memory. I think I said 67. So
Put the microphone to it.
peptides, MCG, hoodoo. Can we
Can you hear
finally do something about it? No changes for me this week. Train station staying as the sub. Backing in our boy, the Wellington, for at least a month. Same with Wayne. Just got to give him those 3 or 4, 5, 6 games minimum in the team. We can afford to carry him this year without half a dozen potatoes running around for us. I'm interested to actually see if we go smaller down back and bring Bond in. Probably the only one to leave out would be the Irishman or Tex with the rest, but I think he's good to go this week. Finally, can we win a game of the G, for fuck's sake, because fucking over it. Underman bonus. No excuses. Pro by 17. Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah, Boz.
Did anyone hear that?
Hopefully, they could
No,
hear it. They
yeah.
said it was quiet but echoey.
Sorry, we'll fix that for next
Yeah,
week.
we'll
The
fix
echo
it.
was coming through the mic, so that makes sense.
I don't know why the Bozza recording file is always such a problem. It's almost
Yeah.
like
I need to put it in the scene. That'll work for next
Yeah.
week. Sorry, everyone.
What does he use, Linux or something on his operating system?
Just to make it hard for us. Yeah.
But I tend to agree with Boz. I can't see them making any changes unless there's any forced ones out of training or anything like that. But I will say, as a pessimistic, sometimes Crows supporter, that I am worried when we go in unchanged to any game.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up. Again. I think we've done it through the years a little bit. I know it's a pet peeve of mine of us just blindly going in because we've had a decent result the week before, but not trying to combat our upcoming opposition. I think we've done it so many times over the Knicks era of just like, oh, we've won straight into next week, same team, without even thinking about it. When there's been an obvious change that would just suit the opposition so much better, but we've just always been reluctant. So,
well, Yoav today actually commented about this and said he's actually going to go through the stats to look at our results after going in unchanged to see if it's actually worked for us or
that
not.
would be super interesting.
Shout out to you. He was on my pod about 4 years ago.
Yeah, we love Yoav. So
Has Yoav got an answer to that yet? I know he's on the chat.
I've just checked, but he hasn't as yet put an answer in. So maybe we can give you that next week.
I'm not,
But it is an interesting stat, I think.
Yeah, I think it would be. And I'm not saying that going in unchanged is wrong necessarily this
it
week.
seems right.
Just in general, I just hope that we don't blindly do it. That's
Well, I
all.
don't know if it's just a line in a press conference, but Nix was very keen to say, it's a different ground, it's a different opposition.
okay.
We have to work out who's going to be best for this game. So
Yeah, it sounds like Murphy.
Chris
He
did
does.
say that. Maybe just chuck Murphy back in if we have to make a change.
Are we going to stop talking about
I wouldn't have
Murphy
thought-
because I'm off the Murphy hate.
I reckon forward line is an advantage. It's probably whether we've got the right balance in defence, I reckon. We'll see.
Yeah.
Look,
Do we have someone to stop Kako? Do we have the small defensive players in
Bondi.
place?
we got Bond and we've got Max. So it's
Max
ours
normally
and those
plays
two.
good on smaller players.
Yeah. But Bond is also great lockdown. But also, Keiko had a calf thing today, so he's on watch. He might not even play. Don't know.
Who the fuck is your trainer down there, Dean? Jesus Christ.
Is Orazio Fantasia your fitness coach?
Paper pins.
You brought him back.
All right.
We've got some messages.
Social.
Yeah, we've got one from Adam Wilmus. He says, "Hey, here we Crow team. Adam here. Thought the game was great."
Out of bounds on the full.
How good is it how we're like ironing out our technology in these first couple of episodes of this year?
We need to add to audio to all of them, don't we?
Yeah. Boy, it's cool though. It's fun. He said, "Thought the game was great fun. Also thought the new recruits really added to the team. Can't wait to watch them again at home against North." And we also got a massive message from Jaden.
Oh, I can do that.
Jaden's back.
I copied and pasted
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
Good hit out for the guys. Think it's hard to come out of games like that with anything to really dissect. I do think we look fitter than we did last season. If we remember back to last season in round one, the concern was that we didn't look fit yet. The reaction to the game was had a good crack for a quarter and a half, but dropped off, not fit enough. This game was played at a fast pace and we seemed to hold the intensity right to the end. What I will say is to temper the expectations, keep the lid on. We did look good, but St Kilda have been our whipping boy for the last 10 years. Since 2014, the head-to-head record is Crows 12, St Kilda 2, with an average winning margin to the Crows of 50 points. When we play them, we belt them. Was this us announcing ourselves as a serious squad this season, or was this just us putting bell to arse on a team that we've been doing it to for the last decade?
Good
Oh,
call.
come on, Jaden.
Nah, fair call, Jaden.
It's a
very fair
statement.
call. Yeah. Yeah. No,
It's on.
it's a great message, and I think it probably sums up what most of us were thinking. And it's if we go to the MCG this weekend and lose, it meant nothing.
Yep. There were definitely patches in the. Sorry,
No, that's right. I'll just say I still like the win, even if we lose this week.
Nah.
you learn more from your losses.
Yeah.
No, there were lots of lapses in that game. Like, if we really needed to, we could have easily scored 180 against the Saints. Like, we just stopped.
Yeah.
Like during what was it, the
Second quarter. And,
like they
And the
got
fourth.
those 3 goals. Yeah,
Is that worrying or just?
I think it's
not, like,
natural when you're
fine?
playing such a high intensity. It's natural, like when you're that much ahead to let teams back in. It's just
Yeah.
I think let's not take away from the fact it's round one and there's probably maybe an element of self-preservation going on.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't see a problem with
This
that.
is not the game to do it, though. Break the hoodoo, get it done.
Yeah.
If we need to be serious, we need to win this game. Just get it done.
Agree.
And I did put it out to Instagram, are we winning this week? And Swainstagram said, obviously we hand out another flogging. Travi said, we need to break this damn curse. Let's fucking go, lads. And Boise said, Crowies by under a goal, lids on, but to quote Shane Gillis, we're back. Get that man out of the Crom gear, thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. I think that covers it.
Any more chats?
Can we? Can I just? I know we know it's not a Port Power podcast, but it'd just be nice to just.
They're currently bottom of the ladder,
We've got
aren't
the
they?
power to win.
Talk about how close they are to potentially becoming a rebel this year. It would be amazing
What do
to
you mean
see.
potentially?
Well, they've
What's
only lost
happening?
one game still, but
Yeah, but they lost one game with the player that they got rid of for a bag of chips, absolutely smashing them. So
it was good to
it was
see.
even better.
I
mean-
straight up think Richmond are beating them this week.
Well, if you speak to friend of the pod, Roman, he is convinced Richmond will win. I actually think they'll get one of their signature beating a bottom team at home kind of situations.
They'll win by 10 goals in the weekend.
Richmond will, they can't pull off what they did last week, surely, again.
No.
Like, that was a bit of a Carlton just dropping their bundle, I think.
Will the tarps be out this week, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. No one's going to Port
Surely after
games.
that
Richmond,
performance,
yeah.
no one's going.
There's a few reasons, though, that people aren't going to Port games. One is that performance. 2 is that they've clearly just put the queue in the rack this year with the whole Kens last year. No one's going to go support Ken because they all fucking hate him. So they're not going to support him for a year of like what they'll probably consider dead rubber football. So I reckon they'll get historic lows this year in crowd numbers, I reckon.
Maybe.
Good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. It's
I
great.
just wanted to discuss a bit of a segue to a Port target because we've offered him apparently 10,000 years at $1 million.
Oh, yes, we should talk about that.
Nuzz, yeah, just wanted to spend 30 seconds on that.
Someone did ask that earlier, actually. So.
Can you also mention Lee Kalia in this?
Absolutely, yeah. Lee Kalia apparently is just going to come home. Now, apparently Brisbane are heavily into Lee Kalia too, so it's going to be interesting watch. But Lee Kalia will not be playing for the Giants next year.
Is that why he's not playing? Or is it?
I don't know. No, I think, the Giants is that serious a contender. I think if they needed to play him, they'd play him. I don't think that would be part of it. Clubs are a lot more professional than that nowadays. Well, I don't know. Maybe not the Saints, yeah. Apparently he's very happy there. And if he's going to go anywhere, it's going to be to Port or Saints. I think one of the reasons why we would... Stay at the Saints, yeah. I think one of the reasons why we're offering and we're hearing about this now is to keep the other two clubs honest. So if Port have to get him or want him, they're going to have a similar contract or keep Saints accountable. So it's not, there's a reason why this information has come out, all I'm going to say.
Can I ask, Nuzz, do you think there's actually a place for him in the team? Like, at this point in time, we do look pretty good and we do have a lot of depth. Where is he fitting in?
There's always, if you've got that much talent, there's always room for them. It's just whether you want to dedicate that much of your list space and draft capital towards that type of player. He's always going to have a spot in the best 22, no doubt. But he'll push out someone like, let's say, Hinge, and Hinge might be on half the money and he cost us bugger all to get in. Is that clever list management? Some would argue not. But is Wanganeen Miller are going to be the difference to us winning a flag? That's the hard questions you've got to ask. How important is that role towards what we're trying to build? Yeah. So it's a lot of questions to play out first.
Port clearly need him as like a Houston replacement.
Yeah, absolutely. They need him more than we do.
Yeah.
We still haven't even debuted Oscar Ryan, who we know will be a good AFL player.
If he gets the chance.
Well,
yeah, that's one thing that those two have sort of dropped off, haven't they? Like I hardly heard their names through the preseason. Charlie Edwards and Oscar Ryan.
Well, they're still teenagers, so there's a long way to go. I just hope that they stick around. Ryan's from Country Vic, and actually so is Edwards in fantasy. He's from Bendigo, so still a long way to go. There's going to be injuries inevitably. They'll get their chance, and hopefully they'll be right to go. And like a good club, when they get injuries, the kids are ready to go and they get their 20 touches, and we say, why didn't we get that guy? Because they've been in a good system learning from the professionals. So
I think we did actually hear that Oscar Ryan was training well in the preseason, and Charlie Edwards has a positional change. He's defending now, so slightly different role to what he was drafted in, but they'll have their time, I think.
Yep.
Any more socials? Is that it?
I think that's about it.
Should we talk about
I didn't really put a call out.
Our thoughts on this week's game?
Yep. I reckon we're going to win. I reckon it's going to be a shootout, close game. I think that playing at the MCG is actually an advantage for us. You mentioned it earlier when you're talking to Dino, but I think Marvel really suits Essendon. They love that fast, hard deck. And, I think that we play well on the MCG. Like, we have played well. We've definitely had some close losses there, but I reckon we're going to get up. I'm calling it. I'm getting up.
I'm going to back you up, Lauren. I reckon we will win by 3 goals. But I do think it will be a shootout because that's the type of style both of our teams like to play when we play each other. So it'll probably be quite a spectacle in terms of goals. I just don't know where Essendon is going to counteract our forward line. So, I think we can kick a winning score where I don't know that their forward line can kick a winning score in comparison to the, I mean, it seems pretty obvious, but
I don't know if this might seem like a stupid comment about the premiership favourites Hawthorn, but I think it comes back to how good they were. Essendon were pretty good against them last week. So if Hawthorn really are premiership favourites and are better than everybody else, and Essendon got close, and who knows what happens this week. I just don't think that's actually the case, and I think we are pretty good. So about 6-goal win.
Cool. Ben?
All right. So, now we are very tall. We're playing outside, so weather is quite important. We don't want it to be wet. We don't want it to be windy. And as of today, the forecast is partly cloudy and 22 with light winds.
Beautiful.
Perfect. So that is what we want.
If anyone's driving over to the game on the weekend, you got an extra seat, I might jump in.
Great day to watch the football. So I'd be in shorts. Sam would be in long pants.
Okay. That is exactly what we need to know.
So people know. But with all that in mind, I reckon the Crows, you'd hope we'd win. I'm going to go with a 24-point win. The midfield, I think Essendon, won contested ball and whatnot, so we're going to have a bit of a harder tussle in there. So it's a matter of winning enough and being able to spread quickly like we did last week to be able to put their defence under pressure. So we need to keep our fast movement into the forward line, and then I think we'll do all right.
And like Vardy said, we haven't won at the MCG since our grand final year.
No. So
It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Carlton in 2017.
And I'm calling it. It's a
Oh, was
draw.
that game?
Draw.
A draw.
You going to put money on that, Nuzz?
You know what? I will. I'm going to gamble responsibly. $1. What is it? $60 per?
Yeah,
$1 for a draw. I'll do it.
Go on.
Yeah.
All right, I might follow you in on that. Here for the game.
25 cents, Dad.
Yeah, 25 cents. I'll win less than Nuzz, but it will be worth it.
just imagine what you could be buying with that instead.
Not much.
What kind of tree was it again?
Deciduous.
Deciduous, couple of hard solos.
A delicious tree.
Chinese pistachio, Pistachia sinensis.
Okay.
Wow.
And on that note,
It's time to go.
It's time to go. Thanks very much for joining us on Here We Crow once again, episode 111. Thank you very much to Dino, our Nuffy. Thanks to Nuzz for coming in. Finally, we've got him in. He's here. He's officially part of the Here We Crow squad. And we will see you next week. I believe Monday night is our planned evening for more of this. And hopefully we'll be blasting that air horn at you. God, please let us be blasting the air horn.
Yes.
Thanks everyone who's in the chat, and don't forget, follow us on socials, subscribe on YouTube, and buy us a coffee. See you later.
See you guys. Bye.
see ya.